Good evening, this is Brother Bro here, still keeping you up to date with the Cannes coverage, and I'm going to review My Father's Shadow. This film is by Akinola Davies, who is raised both in the UK and in Nigeria. And this is a Nigerian film. In fact, it's the first Nigerian film to premiere in the Uncertain Regards section at Cannes. The film is about two young boys who reconnect with their father, who they haven't seen in quite some time, and seems to appear quite unexpectedly as if the wind brought him into their home once again. He has this kind of larger-than-life presence, and he takes the boys on a trip with him to Lagos to collect 6 months of back pay. And through this journey, the boys get to understand the man that their father wanted to be but couldn't have been, and the audience also gets a tour through the political turmoil and the culture of Lagos. I found this to be a beautiful exploration of what it means to be a father, and Shope Derisu makes this father into somebody who is masculine, warm and caring, assertive, but also vulnerable and full of regret. And he really carries this film beautifully. The two boys are also fantastic here. There's never a false note with these two actors, and they're also very funny. This film's kind of part road trip, part moonlight, and part aftersun. The film is a memory piece and often makes you aware of the fact that we're seeing this through a somewhat retrospective lens. The camera work in general is beautiful here. It's ethereal, it's dreamlike, and it really leans into film photography. The perspective is definitively from the younger boys. It takes their height. There's an especially beautiful scene where the father reflects on whether he's been there as a father enough for his boys, and he talks about the necessity of sacrifice in a society as hard as Nigeria, where you have to sacrifice. You can't be everything that you aspire to be. And it's almost as though life is full of inevitable regret that we just can't escape from. If you choose to be a provider, you may sacrifice time with your family. And if you're there for your family, well, maybe you can't feed them. The purpose of the film itself seems to be filling in the gaps of this relationship, which was not fully fleshed out for these boys. This really was an intimate and even tear-jerking portrait of memory, loss, and sacrifice, coming to understand the complexities of what your parents are going through, that I would strongly encourage any film lover to see. And the indie film world is often not introduced to or exposed to African cinema. And one of the things this film does well is draws a portrait of Lagos and of what daily life looks like there. We get a glimpse at some of the social life that their father leads, having a beer with other people, being invested in politics and in sport. And it really feels like a portrait that couldn't have been drawn from a filmmaker who was not familiar with Lagos. And it feels both like a love letter and spares no criticism, of course, of the governmental structures there. And this film also has a political awareness where it centers around the lead up to the 1993 election, which is the first democratic election Nigerians had seen in a decade. And we hear from the perspectives of both the father and others around him the hope that they have that Nigeria can become a democracy where their voices can be represented and where change can come. And we also hear other characters spewing the propaganda of the incumbent party. And ultimately we see how the tides and consequences of politics catch up to individuals. Overall, this film had a gorgeous style and is such an excellent debut. Akinola Davies is absolutely a voice to look out for. His vision for this film was beautiful and distinct, and the film's themes will haunt me for some time. I believe this is a film that would resonate with the vast majority of audiences. It's a universal story that also touches on the specificities of Nigerian culture. And I would give this film a very strong 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Can your father's shadow cover your whole body?